Hey, what's up, Muhammad? Sorry, I've been so wrapped up in fucking crypto. All right, that LTCN back up a little bit. UAL Donkey Kong, which has been pretty beaten down. It's like a nothing day in the markets today. MasterCard's up, pretty close to a new high, within $1 of a new high. And that's about it. Everything else is taking a breather today. We're all focused on freaking Dogecoin. Dogecoin cray cray. 32147. There you go, MasterCard looking good. Starbucks LPLA. United Airlines. Yeah, it still is insane, Mohammed. It's still pretty insane. See, our mega caps haven't budged that much, too. Microsoft chillin', Apple chillin', all down less than 1%. Nvidia 0.71 in light of a monster run. SI and Riot Blockchain down 10% today. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like the looks of this at all. It's going in the opposite direction. GBTC looking a little better. Riot Blockchain never had this stable move up here. It's lower here. Yeah, a little bit, Ellie. The funny thing is, I had some Doge yesterday. I had a decent amount, not a ton, but I had a good amount. And then I rolled it out for something else. And when I tried to go back, there's no margin left on Binance. I couldn't get nothing. Like 32 cents. Yeah, it's not done either. Yeah, it ain't done. I had it out here out of the 14.5. I had it right there. I had a really good fill. Yeah, I bought enough. Yeah, and then I shook myself out over here. Yeah, I like to make the same mistakes multiple times. XRP not having a good day. Now we're getting some a little bit of selling into the 50 cent level. I don't know, man. This thing may get to $1 the way a lot of these retailers get in. Yeah, I should have got in spot, but I wasn't. I was thinking small positions, but fairly highly leveraged. It was like 5x, I think. So I should have just got spot, I guess. Yeah. I know in the chat a couple times kept saying it wasn't done. Still not done. I can't seem to do anything right in the bull market. I just can't. I can't. Analysis on, you know, all my levels are pretty spot on, but I just can't make the right action. Infuriating. It's a good way to put it. Just constantly infuriated. Yeah. 141. Jeez. Hmm. Yeah, not too much good today though. I guess everyone's following into Doge. I don't know what else to say about it. BTC down decent amount. Not dead, but not looking healthy. ETH, a bit of a different situation, but a little similar. Cardano down 8% today. Backing away from the 148. And Doge up 135%. Like, add all these losses, it probably equals Doge. I don't know. Yeah, it still looks good too. All right, NASDAQ. 0.15 BTC having a bad day. Right, blockchain. Most of the most of these not having a good day. Only a few are doing decent. MasterCard will probably fall off. Looks like it is falling off. Yeah, it's only a 0.15 now. Donkey Kong Warhorse. What's VNTR? Hey, what's up, Rob? Is Doge Tesla though? It kind of is. It's the only reason it's pumping. I mean, it's a good point though, Mohammed. Yeah, I mean, technically no, but Tesla's the reason it's pumping. Elon's the reason it's pumping. So you're right. Technically, it's not Tesla, but it could buy you a Tesla. Bought Cheyenne a Tesla. Cheyenne made $200,000 on this trade. Here's the thing about Doge. It is a working cryptocurrency. It was started as a joke, but let's put things in context. Bitcoin started with a white paper. Um, Doge started as a joke. Both do the same thing, essentially. So, is it trash? Apparently not. What do we know? Is it going to last? Probably not. Elon may be in on it. I don't know. Maybe he's going to adopt it in some fashion. Maybe he's causing all of this. Maybe one day he's going to come out and say, "We're using Dogecoin for blah blah blah." It's a it's a valid cryptocurrency. There's nothing. You can't say the code's trash. You can't say it's been hacked 75 times. You can say it doesn't have enough nodes, but if Elon wanted to adopt a long time proven crypto, Doge ain't a bad candidate, to be quite honest with you. And he probably got it at fairly low prices down here, under 10 cents. So if he's accumulating for maybe his robo taxi network's gonna run on Doge. Seriously, like why the fuck not? Dude's worth $100 billion. Company's got like 20 billion in cash. Like seriously, let's look at. I mean, I'm just fucking pissed. Dogecoin addresses. Let's see. So this is number of ins, number of outs. Only one. Number of coins, 28%, 4%. What is this? Two seven. So this wallet opened in 2019. Wow. 9 million Doge. Is that billion? 9 billion Doge. 17 million market cap. It is plus one Doge? 4 million Doge. 4 million Doge in early 2019. It's a lot of Doge. Then sold a billion Doge. That's a rich motherfucker right there. How about this one? This address goes way back. Okay, first in, here we go. 1914, 421, 414, 2021. When did Elon start tweeting about Doge? I wonder if it's one of these addresses. I mean, you never know. 2014, 18, 19, 2021. Starts with 100. And pretty quickly leans into buying up 300 million Doge. Then you gotta buy 5 here. That makes sense. Gotta buy 5 Doge. It's late last year, Prince. Unless he had a pre-existing wallet and had already been accumulating it. It's fucking genius if he did that. Hey, what's up, Black? Well, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm saying maybe it's. I mean, Doge is a valid cryptocurrency that works and does crypto stuff on its network. So in that regard, it's valid. I mean, it started as a joke, but it's an open source joke. So if the community decides to if Elon decides to adopt this homeless boy who says the homeless boy can't go on to be a rock star, I mean, I guess that's what it is. That's all I can think about, really. Like I said, unless he decides maybe he's not trading it, I think he may use it for something. I don't know if he actually trades or not, but it would have to be. You'd think it'd be one of these top addresses. This one only opened in early 2019. Justin said he started talking about it late last year. This one started in April 2021. I'm not sure if any started in 2020. This one, $350 million in Doge. Sold a bunch though. So I don't know. Yeah, you never know. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's looking topish. Hmm. But is it really? Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's never been hacked. You never heard about a big Doge hack, did you? Same like Litecoin, same like Bitcoin. They're all part of the same. They're the same OG network. Load of small accounts. Yeah, it could be. I'm just I'm just like, who the fuck takes Doge up to 75 or 45 cents? Seriously, it's crazy. You bitter because you didn't jump on the run? Yeah. Oh, does MicroStrategy have a bunch of different wallets? I don't know. I mean, if he's going to take over the network and utilize it for his purposes, then um, these are the percentage of coins. I mean, it gets down to less than 1% really quick. He would have to live in this upper echelon. Unless he went around somewhere, decided to find people with old addresses, which seems a little bit weird. Not too many of these started in 2020. A few of them. Maybe he's got three or four that equal 2 or 3%. Yeah, I don't know what the investment he would need to get, but yeah, I don't know. He does keep talking about it, and you know he does keep talking about it. Just kind of wonder what's up his sleeve. Elon Musk. Well, good trade, Ellie. Yeah, stocks aren't doing massively hot today. Had a good day yesterday. Day before that, though, was a pretty big red day, but the big ones look like they're holding up relatively well. MasterCard trying to hold on to green. Everything else never even tried. Microsoft down half, Amazon, Adobe, Apple down a little more than half. Nvidia down 1.4 after Blockbuster Day. Tesla consolidating the big move up. So yeah, we're just chilling today. Getting vaccine on Sunday. Cool, cool. Well, now Bill Gates will know where you are at all times. So when he comes for you, I'm just saying. I don't know. This is basically trading like Riot blockchain. SI and Riot are trading the same, and Riot seems to be leading to the downside. Actually exited Riot a couple of days ago. Didn't like the look of it. If I buy a PC out of the blue, Ellie comes on here. We need to bring Clippy back. Clippy was state of the art. Artificial intelligence at its finest. Bill Bill Gates wrote it himself. He's a smart man, even though he keeps more money in Berkshire Hathaway than Microsoft. He's a smart man. You, Randy whispers in Ellie's ear, "Change your avatar to Clippy tomorrow." Or was it Sunday? Monday. Change your avatar to Clippy. We all should change our avatar to Clippy. It'd be a whole Clippy network. It's pretty good. Yeah, so market is chilling up here. Really just hanging out. But yeah, Riot Blockchain and SI both don't have. GBTC has a completely different signature, although it's still not looking massively bullish. A little bit concerned about that, but we shall see. We shall see. I mean, if the market tops with Doge, that'd be a little bit fitting for all of us old school crypto people. Like, oh yeah, topped with Doge. That makes sense. You damn right they don't, Ellie. All Windows updates are great. Look at Workhorse dying. Not looking very good. VNTR not bad. Sherman Williams, man, someone bought some freaking paint. Look at that paint. Damn. It looks like it, Blay. I got some paint right there. Look at that. Tis gone. You don't get many days like that in Sherman Williams. Oh, 3-for-1 stock split? Oh. 4-1? That was a couple weeks ago. What's going on today? Front running on earnings? UBS suggests Sherman Williams target up $3, so the stock's runs up 10. Even though it's started the day out at the price target. Here's the start of the day at 257. The price target was 256, up from 253. That means it needs to pop. Oh, and that was also 2 weeks ago. So go Sherman Williams. Paint, y'all. Just paint. $1.65 in dividend ain't too bad. Well, Microsoft down the least of the big uns. Amazon quite a bit lower there. Oh. Yeah, Rothschilds just bought crypto too. Kind of funny, huh? See if Microsoft's trying to make a quick and swift U-turn here. We shall see. I don't know. Let's say Friday. You take the fucking weekend off of everything. I feel like garbage today. See, Ellie's letting his true self out now. Even pre-vaccine, he understands. He understands the rules. You probably should. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's crazy. Yeah, this is such a strong stock. It really is. What was taking over Apple yet? Remember, it needed like a what was the percentage move? It wasn't very big. It was like 5% or 6%. No, it's still number two. 1-9 versus 2-2. Screw the surface. And look at that. Four $1 trillion companies. Anybody remember what the biggest market cap company was before Apple took it over? Trivia for the day. Does anybody know? Oh, yeah, you're too late, Jared. We're all Microsoft now. Ellie's going to get the vaccine, so, I mean, he's clinched it. He's clinched it. He's going to. His new nickname's Clippy. Intel? Ellie's going with Intel. Anyone else? Anyone else know before Amazon or Apple took over top market cap spot? Who was the top market cap? Anybody remember? Or was anybody even around then? What the hell, man? It's like every day a new mass shooting. It's like, did Trump order the press to not cover them? Or did CNN order the press to not cover them? Or did Biden order more mass shootings? It's like lockdown over. Okay, now we can start the mass shootings again. Like, what? Seriously, what the hell? I think I wrote somewhere a pretty bad, pretty funny tweet. I thought it was funny, probably in bad taste. I'm like, hey, once the economy recovers, I hope it shoots up as fast as the number of mass shootings. That's because that's all that shoots on my phone now. Like every day is a mass shooting. All right, so I got three guesses, two from Ellie, one from Blatt. Everyone else apparently doesn't know how to type. Jared, who's your guess? Who was the market cap leader prior to Apple? None of you fuckers are even close. Come on, Jared. You know how to type. Give me company. Who was it? It's never too dark. It's never too soon. No, just off the top of your head. I don't know what year it is. I'm just going off my head. Ah, blah, you cheating bastard. Blah cheated. He Googled it. Not supposed to Google it. Yeah, it was ExxonMobil. It's ExxonMobil. You didn't Google? All right. Well, good job. Good job. Thought it was a leap going from IBM to Exxon, but yeah, it was ExxonMobil. They were the king for a while. Yeah, and then Apple just kind of out of nowhere started climbing the ranks. It went boop 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 boop, kind of like Tesla. Boop 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 boop. And then, oh, okay. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. Yeah, it was Exxon. Not even on this damn list. Freaking oil. Killing it. Well, the funny thing is, if you probably if you take all these oil companies' market caps, they'll probably all add up to Tesla's. He's reduced that much value. So there's ExxonMobil, 241 billion. I think it was at like 350. I don't remember the actual market cap. I think it's like 350 though. For a long, like no company was towards a billion. It's actually funny. Technology probably rocketed our at least our stock market up a whole other notch. We're pretty stagnant, really, in reality. Walmart was the big thing in the 80s and 90s. Home Depot was in the mix. It was a lot of big retailers. It was the big box revolution in the 80s and 90s. And 90s came along, and then internet started. Then the bust happened. And then it was all internet stocks after that. I think oil has pretty much almost reigned supreme for like 80 years or something like that, maybe 100. Is pretty much an oil based system. Now we're moving to electrification. Yeah, Tesla fits that bill perfectly, doesn't it? Hadn't thought about that. Moving to an electrified society. And Tesla's a big part of that. So there you go, Tesla. All right, make me retire, even though I'm a fucking idiot. You don't have to be smart to make it, guys. Just have to invest enough in Tesla. Just every just every day, just buy a share of Tesla. 700 bucks. You got 700 bucks, put it in Tesla. Get some birthday money, put it in Tesla. You're going to buy your kids a present, put it in Tesla. You want to eat some food tonight, put it in Tesla. You can eat in 30 years. Well, the funny thing about solar is that none of those companies are up here. That's good, Jared. I should do more. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I got enough. I don't know. I don't know. I've done pretty good with trading. I mean, I can't say I'm a bad slouch. I'm definitely not the worst trader in the world, but I'm yeah, not happy with myself at all. Don't see any ultra right statements in the news. My bet the shooter wasn't white. Well, it doesn't matter if he's white. It's just mass shootings. Second Amendment's a conundrum, guys. It's a conundrum. Yeah, 8 people were shot and killed. Jeez. In a FedEx facility. Be- Begrudged employee, unfortunately. Multiple other people were injured. Wow, this dude knew where to go. Could be, I don't know, could be ex-military. Shooting that many people? Jeez. Indianapolis Airport? He works at the facility. Submachine gun, an automatic rifle. An automatic rifle? He was firing in the open. Damn. Yes, I will be your unbiased news source. Call it real news. That's horrible. Yeah, guns are a double-edged sword, man. It really is a double-edged sword. Oh no, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. I mean, you go to Britain, they don't have shootings because they don't have guns. But at the same time, at this stage, it's like hard to take all the guns away. That's a tough one. All right, Microsoft green. Microsoft's green now. Is Mastercard stayed green or not? What do we got? Moderna, Starbucks, Apple down, Microsoft killing Mastercard. Well, guns are illegal there, Rob. So I don't think so. I mean, they may have like one or three or four, but they're not gonna have thousands a year like we do. They're also an island nation, so it's harder to bring guns in. Yeah, it's a very complicated issue. It's a very complicated issue. Yeah, for sure, Black. One dude walks in with a grudge and a couple of submachine guns. One of them automatic, apparently. Modified his gun. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. Oh, are you in the UK, Prince? Says no, we don't have mass shootings over here. Maybe that's why they have so many bombings in the, or did. I'm not sure. I haven't seen much because I'm in the U.S. I don't see everything. Used to see a lot of bombings in Europe. I'm not sure. I don't know what the gun landscape is like. You live in England, Prince? Yeah. I'm not sure what the landscape is like in Europe and what a country allows guns and what doesn't. I'd be very interested to see statistics and stuff like that. But as just viewed objectively, just take the seriously, just take the Second Amendment out of the equation in a hypothetical and just look at some numbers. Yeah, so maybe they do bombings because they don't have guns. I mean, it's fully possible. I mean, although you'd think if you can, well, I guess if you want someone to make a bomb, I think a lot of those are local bomb makers too. I don't think they're really importing bombs. I think they're just making them out of shit around their house so they can't be traced. I mean, they could get guns there if they wanted to, you know? Nobody wants to blame Kennedy for closing psychiatric facilities. It's probably the only first world country in the world that doesn't care about crazy people. We don't care about anyone, Ellie. Let's be clear about that. I mean, let's be very clear. Let's be very. The U.S. does not give a shit about anybody. The only thing we give a shit about is as long as if you can make money, that's all we care about. That's it. Like literally nothing else matters. Absolutely nothing else matters. We are a purely money-based society here in the U.S. More knife crimes, usually teens in gangs. Wow, England's like the 1950s. Well, you just said yourself, Kennedy closed facilities. We don't put, yeah, we don't, yeah, yeah, we don't really emphasize that much on people. There's certain local groups here and there that do a great job with certain populations, but I don't know. I think there's a much larger conversation that is on the table that I don't think a lot of people want to have per se. Yeah, no, I believe you, Ellie, but that's with San Francisco. You go two counties over, they may not do that. Oh, buy drugs and alcohol from homeless. Oh, I missed the buy part. My eyes aren't that good anymore. My taxes are going to buy drugs and alcohol for homeless. What? For homeless. That's a little weird. Yeah, see, that's going the other direction. That's going the wrong direction. You shouldn't be buying drugs and alcohol for people. Really? Yeah, that's some bullshit. Yeah, that's going too far the other direction. Nah, see, I don't know. I watch a lot of stuff, not news, but um, I watch a lot of stuff, and I just see people thrown away constantly. People thrown away constantly. It's happened for years. Continues to happen. Yeah, there's yeah. Look, as Americans, all we do is throw. America is the land of opportunity. Here's the rule in America: as long as I have opportunity, that's all that matters. That's the general rule. So that's the rule. As long as I get opportunity, that's all that matters. Unless you're rich, then you just pay to have tax laws written in your favor. But that's basically it. That's basically it. There's no greater good. I mean, there's a little bit of greater good, but yeah. Well, okay, you guys have a unique issue. Let's just put that out there. San Francisco is not the rest of America. You have a unique issue. So maybe they should put porta potties outside. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of issues that go unaddressed, and sometimes they address the wrong issues. Putting people's up in apartments. I mean, look, that if that helps someone get a job, I know it was during COVID, but you shouldn't be bringing them drugs and alcohol. That shouldn't happen. You should be bringing therapists in there. Should be working with these people. That's what they should be doing. But it takes money out of someone's pocketbook, so they don't. In whatever way, it takes money out of someone's pocketbook, so they don't do it. Moderna bouncing back. Crossed that 50-day a couple days ago and has had a good sequence of days here. I don't know, Rob. Give him a shot. If you're gonna poop on someone's porch or poop in a porta potty, pretty sure they'd rather poop in a porta potty. I've been on construction sites and been like, you know what? I really need to take a shit. Let me go. Hey, there's a porta potty 3 blocks over. I guess I'm walking to that porta potty instead of taking the shit where I am. But I haven't been homeless, so I don't know. If you address psychological issues, shooting will go down. Some, I think some would go down. Not all, obviously. There's no single. The only the only solution to getting rid of mass shootings is not a logical solution or a. I would say I'll rephrase that. It's a logical solution. It's not a reasonable solution. It is not a reasonable solution. So yeah, you put like San Francisco's not that big. If you put some porta potties out, maybe build them into the city streets, build them into the sewer systems. You know, something. Figure something out. Go build some porta potties for like 5,000 bucks porta potty. Dig it in the sewer. Boom, you got. Boom, you got. See, I just solved it. Just public restrooms. Trust me, if you've done any traveling, like especially in New York, you're like, oh, you can't use my bathroom unless you buy something. You're like in the fucking middle of Manhattan. You're like, where am I going to take a shit? Maybe that's the same way in San Fran. I have no idea. But you put some porta potties out there. I'm pooping in a toilet. Exactly, Ellie. It's too broad. I mean, you've got to. We know a lot about mental health now, a lot more than we did 20 years ago. A part of it is having people even reach out. I mean, that's part of it too. You have to reach out for the help. People aren't going to walk up to you and go, "Are you okay?" There's not enough people to do that. So they're going to have to reach out. Most of the people don't, I mean, they may reach out to their circle of friends. Some of them, Moderna keeps going up. Some of them don't have too many people. It's not a thing that, you know. But look, logic would reason. You take the gun out of someone's hands, they're not going to have a mass. They're not going to go shoot 8 people in a FedEx facility. They're not going to go shoot this. They're not going to go shoot that. But that's what just raw logic dictates. Then there's the reality of that there's like more guns than people in the U.S. and good luck taking all of them. And then, Second Amendment comes into play, which I think is very valid in 1776. Not so sure it's hyper valid today. That's a debate to be had, but the logistics of doing that would be huge, absolutely massive. Another big undertaking no one's going to take on. And politically, it's just a death sentence. And then you have people that just love guns. They just don't want to give them up. So it's like it's a fun hobby. I've gone shooting. Guns are fun, but I won't have one in my house because I don't want an accidental shooting. Accidental shootings are pretty easy. No, no. This is the problem, Rob. They'd have to go confiscate all the guns. That's the problem. That's the problem, and that is a problem. I'm not saying they should do that. I mean, but you know, look. Don't think that the only people that are probably in danger of, I mean, drug cartels. If they were to go through that process, just think about it logically. Take everyone's feelings out of it for a second. If you were to try to do that, it would take a very very long time to bring that. The problem would likely get a little bit worse before it got better, but eventually it would get better because you're going to have people hiding guns and you're going to have people shooting those hidden guns. And then you're going to have, there's going to be that back and forth. And then you're going to have people stealing guns from law enforcement because they're probably still going to have their guns. And then, I mean, it's a super long road if you want to even go down that road. I'm not saying it should happen. And it's not going, I'm going to say it's not going to happen, but, you know, it's, um, it's just an interesting conundrum. Rural and metropolitan areas. Well, that's part of the process. It's a super, if you were to even attempt to, say, hey, guns are, maybe you pack, okay, so logically, if you were to try to reduce the number of guns in the public's hands, you would say, okay, we're going to have gun ranges that'll be like private clubs, kind of like golf courses. You can't play golf on my front lawn very effectively. So like you could have gun at a range or something, and that moves you know the amount of people that can actually use guns, moves them to a singular location, and gives them the ability to hold guns. It'd be more expensive. I mean, there'd be a whole transition to that, but that would get the guns out of public hands. But yeah, there would probably be more robberies from the criminals that still have guns, and that would probably last for years. That would probably last for a while, the trend would go down. You would see mass shootings go down. You'd wake up one day and say, I haven't seen a mass shooting in 2 years. You'd wake up but it takes a long time to do something like that. But no one's going to be willing to do that, though. Absolutely no one. I mean, the Second Amendment is like burned into everybody's brain, for better or for worse. No one will talk about any nuances. It's all just take damn guns. What am I wrong about? You, all I was saying is that in a hypothetical situation where you were to remove guns from the country, there would be a long drawdown of deaths. Eventually you would have very few deaths from guns, but it would be a sliding scale. It wouldn't happen overnight. How would you have the same issue? You're taking all these guns off the streets. You won't have the same issue. You'll have slightly different issues. Anytime you have change, you don't have the same issue. You have slightly different issues. And it would be the same way with guns. I just said it will get worse before it gets better. And I don't know about the whole. I don't want to go into defund the police. That's not the same thing about nationwide confiscating. I don't want to get into a super deep debate about stuff like that. Defund the police. If defunding the police is stupid, that's not the same thing as taking people's guns away. That's different. That's a different issue and a stupid issue. Police shouldn't be defunded, but I do think there's some validity um, to some of the arguments about having alternate people respond like in nonviolent situations. I think there's something said about not having somebody with a gun that's goes through a lot of training on how to kill people, not a lot of training on how to de-escalate, go to those calls. I think there's something said about that. Uh, I, I don't agree with your particular way you're phrasing that, Ellie. You don't address main issues with these people and culture when you decide to set statements with big event. Higher quality foods, less mental issues. Yeah, it's hard to do that on a larger scale though, and the economics really aren't there for that. But I agree with you on that. There's no problem with that. You're going too fast for me, Ellie, especially with text. I don't know if we can jump on voice if you want. If you want to talk about it on voice, I mean it's. I mean I think it's a debate. I think it's a debate that should be had. I think that there's a there's some solutions out there. They're probably a mixture of everything. Look, going door to door is not reasonable. Period. It's not reasonable, especially in the US. You know, the way our culture is, it's not going to happen. All right, cool. Is your mic better? Rob, you want in? Did you get a mic yet? You got a mic. Rob, you want in on this? We're going to solve all the world's problems right now. Boom, solved. We'll let Biden know what we come up with. Like, Biden, this is the way. He'll be like, oh, cool, thanks. So what's going to happen? Damn, my computer's got so low memory right now. Blez our hype man. You gonna be our hype man, Ble? Jeez, Firefox. One tab takes up 3 gigs. Let's kill that. I wonder which one that was. Well, you got birthday coming up? Well, happy birthday. It is kind of a poor computer. I don't know what. Yeah, that's the tab that crashed. My Discord is just black. There's my Discord right now. After messages from Microsoft. That's great. All right, kill that tab. Oddly enough, my streaming tab's still open. I'm just killing tabs randomly right now. All right, Discord. Come on, man. Oh, it's 420 your birthday? Oh, God. All right, the only. Why is Discord being such a dick? Good. That's why you're making money. What the hell? I do not know what's going on with Discord. Freaking broken. See if it's in my tray and close it there. Well, I've shut it down a few times. I've closed it and it's not in my. It's just a big black screen, big black box. Hey, happy birthday, Rob. I mean, the stuff works. I can click X and exit out of it. Let's see if. Yeah, I'm in task. Yeah, I'm right here. I've already been looking in there. My task manager is usually up, actually, believe it or not. It is my fault, Ellie. I agree with you there. Oh, there we go. See, completely my fault. See, told me right there. God, I'm so stupid. Bill Gates is Bill Gates is right. Ah, now it's going. Let me get my water real quick. Do not disturb. Oh, we're disturbing, Ellie. We're disturbing. Where am I at? All right, Ellie. I think I'm here now. As in. Oh, we're going to solve this, guys. While looking at stocks. What up, Ellie? What's the biggest crisis in the U.S.?
Of course, shooting. Oh, actually race, but the second one is shooting.
So the biggest crisis in the U.S. is shooting. The first one is race. Is that what you're? Is that?
Yep.
Do you actually think that, or is that what someone else said? That
No, that's official Democrat talking point.
well, you can't listen to politicians. Only.
Really?
I don't think so. No, because they pander to they all they do is pander to the moment.
Yeah, they can. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
They create small bites for people to digest. That's why the gun problem won't be solved. I think at least because it will require a plan which, especially in the scope of 52 different states, whatever how many states there are.
Yeah, 50. You don't
Yeah.
know how many states there are? It's a big round number. Come on, man.
Yeah, but then you have two other ones which are not. Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter.
No,
Uh,
they're not white enough to be states, Ellie.
wow. Wow.
Let's just be real. If they're full of white
Dude,
people, they'd have been a state in 1862.
you're representative of a systemic racist problem in this country.
Well, yeah, I'm white.
Wow.
Are you white,
Wow.
Ellie? That's a question. Are you white?
No, actually, one of the organizations determined that Eastern Europeans are too poor to be white.
They're too poor. Okay. All right. Was that the NRA?
I don't know. No, it wasn't. It was one of those bullshit organizations which care about that shit.
Oh, yeah. Was that the NRA?
Whatever. You're so mean. No, but real, the problem is multifaceted. We're talking about cultural, economic, psychological, or like medical, all coming together, and news who pumps this thing up. So there is a lot of there is right now, I think, a culture of basically mass shooting. That's the way how people express themselves. That's
Yeah.
something which is on their menu. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, we're not saying different things here. We're not really saying different things. I, I don't think the only way to stop mass shootings is get rid of guns. If you want to stop mass shootings, that's the only way.
No.
There's no other way that you could actually do it.
No,
Because
but
okay, no, hear me
wait,
out for a
wait.
second. No, hear me out for a second. There's so many different reasons that mass shootings happen. It's not one reason. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's not like if you go all into mental health, all mass shootings will stop. It's not if you get
Yeah.
all into school counselors that will stop. It's not if you do this. The only common theme is the gun. That's the only common theme. Now, I'm not advocating get rid of all guns. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if that's the problem you want to solve, that's unless you're going to attack it from 45 different angles. That's the problem. You can't attack it from 40. Now, here's the thing. If you did try to attack it from 45 different angles, there would probably be other ancillary good effects in society that may, negate. Maybe less people would die from guns, but, no one knows what. Take that dude in Vegas that killed like 50 people. Remember that dude?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone even knows why he did it. Was it his girlfriend cheated on him and they were at a like I don't know why that happened, but
Yeah. So the part which is definitely there is a glorifying moment.
yeah.
That's a part which definitely plays along into this paradigm. Um, I totally agree with you. There is, if you remove all of the cars, there are going to be less car accidents. I totally get it. It's a legit, just mathematical, pure logical issue. My problem was that, right? is that it doesn't remove people who are actually legally acquiring the guns, who would go through all of the procedures, get verified, etc., and then we'll just use those weapons for whatever, right? Like mass shooting is like 4+ people. You can probably shoot 4 people with just handgun.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
just saying, especially if you're talking about like metropolitan area. You go to like, I don't know, any freaking store at like what's the most popular day, like Monday evening or something, or
A
anything
Walmart or
like this.
something.
And yeah, you go to Walmart at evening at like 6 p.m. when everybody's getting from work, etc., and you get easily 50 people there, like standing in line. I'm not even saying that they should be spread around the store. I mean that's the like I think those people would find a way. Like I don't think, for example, the guy who shut up the whatever the massage salons, right? This Asian crisis, whatever. Yes, it was. Um, he actually was mental. Like he legitimately was mental and having mental issues, right? He wasn't addressed. The question is like, why did he have guns? And I'm always kind of dumbfounded when I hear those stories, because like we see those people as like isolated bad apples, but the problem is very rarely they're like very isolated. There are a few like lone wolves, which I totally get it, but majority of them are done within like compounds of family, like within people who are saying, oh, that later on sister or whatever comes in, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, he had an issue, he had a gun, and we told FBI that he had a gun, and FBI was like,
Yeah.
like,
Well, if you
well,
report
let's
everyone
talk
that has a
about
gun,
that as well, right?
well, if you report everyone that has a gun to the FBI, they're never going to get anything done. I mean,
No,
that
he like a bunch of them was like After Effects comes out the not always, but one of the things which like no nobody's talking about. A lot of those people. There was this shooting about the church. I remember a black church who was shut up, and the guy was on the list of FBI. Like they were tracking him, and they did nothing. Like he was
yeah.
reported by his family like 5 times.
Okay,
They
so
they
yeah,
they
so
raised
this
the flag, and nobody did anything.
yeah, well, okay, so that's an interesting situation because that goes back to individual freedoms. Like it takes a lot. The law enforcement is not preemptive. That's the thing. Like everyone would like to say, "Oh, report this guy. He's a nut job." Well, yeah, go ahead and report him, but in order
But there
to
is no case of a nut job. Like there is no expertise. The entire thing
no,
of
I
like
no, I
mental
know.
health is absent. Like
Yes,
as a
sure.
fact in the United States.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
that's my
So
problem.
yeah, well, if you bring that in, so let's say you have really good mental health, how much amount of shooting? What's the percentage of shootings that are going to go down?
No, but you chip in the problem, right? You chip in the problem till you say, all right, we remove this, we remove this, we remove this, and then we say, okay, the guns are just too easily available. Like we still have a shootings. It's not a mental person, it's etc. It's just a guy who wants to glorify himself through the TV or something like this. And they're like, okay, we can eliminate those kind of people. We need to go down heavy on weapon owning or etc. Like something like this.
Yeah, well, that's what
But
I'm
right
saying.
now, you're saying like, oh, let's just go down on guns.
No,
That's
I'm saying if you want to, okay, no, it's a simple question. I'm not trying to get massively broad because it's just
yeah,
a stream and we're not whatever. But the point is, if you want to eliminate mass shootings, the big win is getting rid of guns.
completely.
Ignoring all politics,
Yeah,
ignoring everything. That's the big
yeah,
win is just guns. Because, Rob said something about cars, someone said
yeah.
something about something else. I mean, yes, there's always different implements of destruction, but if you remove the most destructive implement, there's going to be less destruction. That's basically it. I mean, it's a very
I
logical argument. Whether if
hear
you
me out.
remove
Yes, yes.
politics, if you remove everything, not even the fact that you probably can't even do it logistically. I
Yeah,
mean,
but it comes with. So my problem with this, right, is considering humankind as just infantile kid who needs to be basically cuddled around. Like, we don't trust people. We're gonna limit all of their stuff, which like things they can hurt themselves with, basically. And we're gonna do this indiscriminately. We're just gonna block everybody from being able to do stuff.
We
And
already
with
do
that
that.
no, not as much. Like, there is a difference between how
Well,
much
there's not, and there
regulation you
is.
have. No, but hear me out. There is a difference. It's just philosophical difference, right? There's a difference how, for example, Europe comes with regulations and limit people's freedom. United States don't have it, right? It has this free spirit. It has this ability of like people considering other people adults. It does come with a cost, and I'm not saying that we should compare those costs, etc. But the problem which it comes with is a shift in the culture and innovation, right? Like
So
that.
okay, so that's a good point. So no, that's a very valid point. So then what should be said is that we're okay with the mass shootings because we have all these freedoms. But they don't say that. That's not the argument. They should
No,
make
no, no,
that the
no.
argument.
We can jump. Listen, we can jump into political arguments. Political arguments are sound bites. They cannot sell anything more complicated than one sentence. So like, we're going to ban
Well,
guns.
you
They
just
don't.
made
They
it a
don't.
sentence, and that's a very valid. But that's not what they say.
No,
They,
but I'm saying about multifaceted solution. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying that solution shouldn't be just no. But wait, pro or against, like all of the arguments, people are gonna just throw the one like sound bites to each other. They're not gonna be like sitting me and you and talking like step by step and talking account like larger scale of impact. They all just want to like ban guns. That's it. It's like very easy to sell, and then everybody else is like, oh, we don't want to ban my gun. Like, my gun is fine. Like, my gun is sitting in my closet, and you just come in to steal my property. Fuck you, government, right? And the other person is like, no, but if you remove all of them, then we're definitely not going to have shooting because there's nothing going to be shoot with, right? So I totally get. And those two arguments, they're just basically two edges of different kind of solutions. Like, people are looking them at black and white. There is no spectrum anywhere. Like, nobody's talking about nuances because you
well,
cannot sell it.
Well, we already have some nuances. Our current regulations, they're still right. I mean, let's be real. There is no true Second Amendment. You can't go out and buy an RPG. You can't go out and buy a tank.
Yeah.
If you could, guess what? You'd have fucking RPG shot at schools, fucking RPG shot at the UPS. So the question is, and Jared on the chat said what I said earlier: the right to bear arms is just for self-protection, but the gun enthusiasts just want to shoot targets. He also said, I feel the ban would have such massive backlash from all the gun enthusiasts. They're enthusiasts, and that's fine. Like I said, if you want to lock stuff up at a shooting range so the enthusiasts have a place to go, that's one thing. But if you're trying to stop mass shootings, I mean, you already can't have a tank. Again, Second Amendment is you're already infringed on your right to bear arms. There were no RPGs in 1776. They didn't even fathom a tank. That wasn't even in their purview. But via the United States government and the legal system, we've put a moratorium on those things. Would it be hella fun to shoot an RPG? I'd fucking love to shoot an RPG. But you know what? I will give up that so that 40 people at FedEx don't die. You know what I mean? Like, those are the choices that we make. We as a,
So hear me out. I think we're it's very, to be problem as a European. It's very hard for me to be pro guns. It's just something I haven't been born with. It took me quite a while through the years to learn the to understand it, basically the culture of the American states and guns. It's pretty bizarre for everybody else outside of US. And I thought I'm not going to be like storage pro gun guy or like Second Amendment. I don't have those attachments in my brain, right? I don't have this like push for it. My problem was this is that it's not a solution, and they're not gonna get anywhere with this. That's a problem. Like saying, "Oh, we just need to take their guns," is a bullshit plan. It's not gonna work. It maybe would work if you would
well,
have a
it will
country
work.
which is not built up.
It's just
No,
pure
you would,
physics.
it would be fine if you would have a country which is not built out of 50 different other smaller countries. Like each state is a different country. You
Yeah.
have yeah, you can't just say, oh, nobody owns the gun in all those
Well,
50 states because some.
that's what the federal government does. The federal government steps in and puts in laws that need to be, and they determine that. Obviously, that's a whole thing. But
The federal government determined that you cannot have illegal substances, and California couldn't care about it for the last 20 years. That's what I'm saying. Like you cannot enforce.
okay, so the people that say, "Oh, only law-abiding citizens care about laws," well, then just fucking abolish laws and give everyone a fucking gun. Like, what's the argument? Why the
No,
fuck do we
that's
have
not.
laws then?
Wow. Uh,
Seriously, why do you
um,
have any laws if laws don't count? It's like it's like these laws. We can put these laws on the books, but I don't want these laws on the books. Like, no, if you want an outcome, you figure out the solution.
so BMW or BW or BW, who wrote that in Switzerland, since I live next door, they either have guns at home and ammunition stored with a unit, or everything stored with their unit. Just in general,
Is
and
unit a
that's
house?
yeah,
Oh,
apartment. So I totally get it, and my problem was all of this is cultural differences, and that's what I'm trying to point out. Like United States is not a country. I know how it looks from Europe, but the United States is 50 countries at one, and each of them has an idea that they're gonna govern whatever they want to govern. I totally get what you're going to make federal law, etc., and I totally get your upsetting, but that's not a uniform country, and I don't know what to tell you. That's like obvious in
well, but federal law
just
is
watching the
uniform.
news.
That's the reason for the federal law.
Yeah, but it's BS, and you know that. Like a
It's
lot of
not
states don't
BS.
follow.
That's what the FBI is about.
I just described you that FBI is sitting on their asses and doing nothing.
Well, not every day. They're not. I mean, they can't.
They're trying to make a case to like get Trump out of the power that he was bought with Russia. They're very political and doing BS. I really think they're useless. Their efficiency is pretty low.
Wow, that's a statement. Have you done vast research on this? Because there's like hundreds of thousands of FBI agents that go to work every day doing something, and Trump hasn't been in
Probably.
office for 80 years.
Sure. Sure. That's. I mean, I don't know why you're defending them, but like I do think that most of them are useless. I do think most of the government employees are useless. Just like just bureaucracy wise, like it's a bureaucratic apparatus done to feed their families, not to actually serve. They're not getting fired because they did something wrong, right? Majority of them, they have nice safe places when they can retire.
Well, that's a
No,
different conversation. I mean,
I know, but I'm cynical. But I don't know.
okay, making
I
blanket statements like that, first of all, is more than likely inaccurate. You can't
Sure.
make
No,
you
no.
can't.
There different cities have different kind of level of bureaucracies. There are more efficient and less efficient cities. Just in general, because you're talking about governmental job, it comes with a level of safety, right? Like it's not something that's very volatile across the world in general, and that's why I'm saying they're less efficient in general. That's all. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to say
Well,
that
they're
all of
definitely
them.
less efficient. They're definitely. I mean, could things be done in more efficient ways? Yeah, but go to Washington and fix it. I mean, is probably the answer to that. Yeah, it is
But
weird though
I'm
how most
saying that they
government jobs
cannot.
come with a pension. That's kind of
No,
interesting.
I'm saying like just hear me out. Like I don't think you can go in the United States to one central government and force something across the entire states. I'm saying you can do this legally, and you're right, but I don't think it's gonna work. That's my problem. Like
Well, I
that's
never
not a
said it was going
workable
to
solution.
work. I
No, but
said I said it
not
probably
in a way
wasn't.
that it's not going to decrease the mass shootings, but just in the way that you cannot uniformly apply this law.
Well,
Like it's
no.
not.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so I think I see where you're going. There's like 11,000 different police forces in the United States. Yeah, you're right. The federal government cannot go to them and say, "Hey, do this." That's not something that they're legally allowed to do. So they would have to go to the ATF, hire a million ATF agents, and then go door to door if the U.S. government did want to implement something like that. So yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Guns will not be banned. that's just not in my lifetime. I mean, it's just not going to happen in my lifetime. But if you want to stop mass shootings, the best way to do it would be to get rid of guns. Is it going to happen? No. The next best way to do it would be to implement more mental health, would be to implement more checks, would be to implement more regulations. It,
Yep.
I mean, or you go the other way, which is like, if I remember correctly, I may be wrong, but like the NRA said back that they put everyone, put police in schools, but then you have someone shooting up FedEx. Like you cannot spread resources wide enough. The US is huge geographically and, as a populace, it's absolutely massive. You can't spread resources out wide enough. So, I mean, you either have to take the guns or like I said earlier, what I would like people to say is that, you know what, I really like my guns. I'm cool with these mass shootings. I'm okay with them because I get my guns. I would at least respect them for being honest instead of giving half-ass solutions that don't do a damn thing. Because
I agree.
nothing's gonna
Yeah.
do anything. You either
Listen,
take the guns or you live with the shootings.
I've told you it's hard for me to defend pro-gun amendment. I totally get why United States has in the Constitution. I don't know how to get out of it. Like I don't have a good solution to get out of it legally without making everybody like unhappy or angry, or a lot of people unhappy and angry, especially those who own a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
guns, right? So like it's
absolutely.
it's a big issue. I totally get it. I would be fine for limiting guns, and I wouldn't say that it's gonna solve the problem, but it's definitely gonna be like part of the solution.
Yeah,
Um,
I think a middle ground would be the idea of um, just isolating guns to shooting ranges only or enthusiast areas or
you
like if
said
you want to go shoot your gun on the weekend, you go to the range and you go shoot your gun and then you go home and then it's like a middle
where is
ground.
the gun that time? Are they in the shooting range, that gun, or it's in your
Yeah, no,
house?
it gets stored at the shooting range. It's like you like rent a locker for $30 a month or whatever.
That's not how it works anywhere in the world, just FYI, just so you know.
I don't care. Actually, no, I do think I actually no, I think Switzerland has something like that or one of those.
Switzerland, they store it in their house. What are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying like if you were to remove yeah, if you were to remove guns from people's everyday whims cuz look, there's going to be people that are going to plan like the dude in Vegas. He obviously planned what he did in advance. Um, Maybe he could have gotten some guns out of a shooting range and maybe shot some people. Maybe he would have made a bomb. Maybe he would have used a car. I mean, I don't know if France has guns or not, but they had a lot of people driving cars into crowds. We had that happen here. I mean, yeah, the stupid people are going to do stupid stuff. But again, if you limit the instrument of destruction, that is going to be your best bang for the buck. That's going to be the best bang for the buck. That's about it.
Sure.
Yeah, I think.
I agree. Like, but you already nuanced it.
What do
You
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 mean?
only you only went back on like let's limit the guns. You didn't went on like let's ban all the guns.
Because it's
You're
not
now
going to
saying,
happen.
but
Because it's not going to happen. That's the
yeah,
middle. That's what I'm saying. That's the middle ground. That's kind of the
uh,
middle ground.
Christian, maybe Americans are just nuts. You are right. But that's a cultural differences. Like it's a blanket statement, but I get it. Like that's why you can't say, oh, why Switzerland are not having so many mass shootings. Yeah, the people there are different. They have different culture.
Yeah, maybe it is culture.
It's a combination. It's not.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like you
Yeah.
cannot just put a blanket statement and say,
Yeah.
oh,
It's not
this is
all
because
culture.
that.
No,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Yeah, but so here's the thing, right? I mean, maybe it's more culture than other things because people are people worldwide. We're wired with the same brains and everything. We all get mad, but we're raised in different ways. How do you deal with that anger? What are the instruments that you use to deal with that? Do you talk to someone? Do you hit your kid? Do you hit a wall? You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of nurture versus nature. So
Definitely.
maybe a lot of it is culture. Like rap talks a lot about shootings. You've got,
No, don't start me on rap, please. Like I don't.
no,
I really dislike this part. part of a culture. I really, because we have similar in Ukraine, in Soviet Union. After Soviet Union broke apart, we had this like prison music. I don't know how to
Mm,
else to describe it. It was music for which was all about how you steal, how you rob, how you get into jail, how you like, your friend betrayed you and he slept with your wife, etc. Like it's all baloney, like it's very low quality PS music, and that kind of culture like sponsored a lot of young people to perceive it as like a potential path in life, a like
mm.
glorified decision you can make in life. Like it wasn't happen because you were, you misstepped. It was because you. I actually talked to the guy who was like, yeah, I want to be part of mafia. Like he was legitimately at like 15-year-old telling me that he want to be, he want to be part of mafia. He want to get money out of like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it.
dropping on people.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I mean, I love rap. I'm a hip
I
hop.
know.
I'm a hip hop guy. Not as deep as I used to be, but I mean, there's a lot of, if you look at where hip hop comes from, kind of the same place in your situation. It comes from people. It come from people's actual lives. It comes from people actual struggling. No, put them away, please.
But struggle is a one thing. Another thing is glorifying.
Oh, put them away. Yeah, I did. I'm talking, but thank you.
But again, that's just one
But
factor
that's
out of all.
but yeah, but that's their outlet. I mean, it's, you can't fault people necessarily for making music about what they've gone through. And that's one thing. There's a recent documentary about hip hop, actually. I think it was on Hulu or something, where they talk about all these rap moguls. They all came from the streets and the drug game, and that's, you probably wouldn't have hip hop if it wasn't for how badly that African Americans have been treated historically. You won't get that if they're in the suburbs living like everything else. Like
I really don't like this. I'm sorry, man. I really don't like this excuse. I really don't. And
what
that's
excuse? It's their reality. What are they
no,
supposed to
no, no,
do
no.
then? They're not supposed to make
Sure,
music about it or what?
sure. But they're Asians as well, and they don't have that problem. Like you're talking about just
What?
one culture, and
There's
you
no
blaming
Asian
their
there's no
you're
Asian
blaming.
rap that talks about, there's no Asian culture at all that talks about anything bad. Then how does that culture persist?
I mean, talking about anything bad and glorifying is two different things.
Well, isn't talking generally glorifying it? Like
No.
talking's
No,
not.
when you talk to your kids and you're saying like, guys, shooting people is bad. Are you glorifying that?
No, not in that example.
Yeah. So like, you can make an art. You can say, hey, I misstep in my life. I did something wrong. Like I killed people, and now I pay for it. It's terrible. Like it burns my soul away. Right? It's not glorifying. I would be totally fine with that kind of rap. But that's not all of the rap. Majority of it is something that just makes me upset about humankind, just in general. Like it, because a lot of it is like pow pow pow, fuck the bitches, etc. Like it's glorifying all of that behavior, which is incredibly damaging. But we're not going deep on the rap. I really don't want to talk about it. It's garbage. The
Well, not
again,
all
like
rap.
that's one of whatever.
Can we just say not all rap? There's a
Yeah, of
lot of
course,
like,
there's an exceptions.
yeah, there's lots of really good hip hop out there that has nothing to do with glorifying.
Yeah,
Like Will Smith doesn't glorify anything, and he's a very skilled MC.
sure,
That guy can rap.
sure, totally
So
get it.
yeah, but there's
I'm not
different
saying
rap cultures.
that,
BW say there's
that's my
subcultures.
taste. It's
Yeah, that's fine if
purely
you
my
don't like gangster rap.
yeah.
I get that. I mean, I get it. I get it. I got no issues with that. Um, but yeah, going back to the culture thing in terms of Americans and culture, we do kind of have. That's how we started off on rap. I mean, we generally do have a shoot 'em up culture. Look at Wild Wests. Look at the Wild West movies. Those guys ride on horses shooting Indians, right? Like, so guns, you talk about glorification, guns are definitely glorified in our culture. Has nothing to do specifically with rap, although that is a part of it. There's
But
white gun culture, there's black gun culture. It's just different types of culture. The white gun culture is the NRA Second Amendment, go in the forest and kill something while driving past the McDonald's. That was I, I
wow.
No. Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock said this. It was Dave Chappelle or Chris. Oh, I think it was Chris Rock. He's like, you ain't hunting. Chris Rock does. He's like, you ain't hunting. You're going to kill something. He's like, you drove past a grocery store to get to the forest. You ain't hunting. He's like, so I thought that was. I never thought about it in that perspective before, but yeah, I mean, there's a gun glorification culture in America
Yep.
on all sides, on all
Yep.
sides. So white people glorify guns.
Yep.
Everyone glorifies guns. Maybe it is a uniquely American thing because I'm in the U.S. I don't see it. You're from outside. You do see it. I cannot disagree with that. That we glorify guns. Our movies. There's a lot of guns in our movies. We have a lot of war movies that are shoot the bad guys and you're the hero. I mean
No,
that's
that part is fine. Really, I'm not joking, but there is some concerns about it, but it's not as big as actually culture around you, like the people who are around you, and like your close vicinity, basically, that influence the most. If people around you are totally fine with guns and talking that you're gonna take, as you said, like take your revenge or etc., and talking like smack talking, right? A lot of them are smack talking, and few of them are stupid enough or crazy enough to actually go with that idea, like push it to reality, basically.
what the people around you.
Yeah, like in your vicinity. That's a part which we don't take into account. Again,
Well,
listen,
you got lone wolves too that don't really have a vicinity and they're just online and they're just
that's
consuming.
that's not a major. Like again, we need to chip away the problem one at a time. If you think we can, lone wolf problem is a problem, and here I blame feds completely. I blame feds because they should be on top of this shit and they're not. If they don't have
on,
some sort
on
of
top
like
of
a
what people on top of what people doing stuff before they do it.
yeah.
But see that okay, so that's another thing is that our legal system is not set up to preempt. I'm not saying it should be set up to preempt, but in the United States of America, you look at all these shootings of black people that are shown in the media. I don't, there's probably also shootings of white people. I'm not saying there's not, but that's what's being shown right now. A lot of those shootings, or I should say, some of those shootings are preemptive. Some of them are after the fact. People get mad about it's the preemptive stuff. In America, you can do whatever you want until you cross that line. It's like if you're running up to my house and you're about to go on my property, I can't do anything to you until you're in my property. If I have to put a barrier in front of if you're going to drive a car into my property legally, I can't do anything until you're on my property. So I could see you coming, I could see this, I could see that, but until you're here, in my property, I can't do anything. So the cops can't do anything. If you look at a sting, the cops can't
Listen.
do, like they know he's a big drug dealer. Like they know this guy's a
Okay.
drug dealer,
Okay.
but they
Okay.
can't do anything with the drug dealer until the
There's
deal's done. The
there
deal
is a
has to be
case. There
finished.
was a case, right? I know what you're saying, but that's not reality. You're talking like a legal fluff. Like there was a guy
Well,
who
you're
walked
talking about the
into. Wait,
FBI
wait.
doing something.
Hear
All
me
they
out.
deal
Hear
with
me
is
out.
legal.
Hear me out. Hear me out. There is a case. The guy was a bunch of weapons walk into the supermarket, and he walks to the restroom. Goes to the restroom. He walks out. He's getting stopped by the police, and they got him, right. And his case is like, I haven't done nothing, like I have like two M14 on me, right, or something like that. He had like five guns on him at that point, and they're like, oh, you were about to shoot, we're gonna stop you. Like, here it is.
Well, no, that
Here it is.
okay. No,
you
that
you
no.
over you overstepped, right?
Yeah, no, and yeah, okay. Well, that's slightly different. Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. Let's think about this logistically. Let's think about it logistically. There is a space where you are coming onto my property, using my example, right? So this guy is carrying six guns in a thing. That is definitely more of a threat. And that guy, yeah, he should be stopped. But if you have some kid on Facebook that's spouting out about his ex girlfriend and stuff like that, are they supposed to detain that guy for 3 weeks until he calms down? Like, where does law enforcement? The question is, where does law enforcement get involved? At that's the thing. At what point?
But again, like it's a part of it. There is a huge part which is missing completely as an infrastructure, as a laws, as etc., which is connected to the mental health. Like For
Yeah.
example, right? If just hear me out, right? For
Oh,
example,
cool.
there's a law about looking for elderly people, right? So if your parent has a dementia, you can get a custody of him, right? And you can, you know, people around him can do stuff to that person if he's considered to be out of his, like, basically too old to work properly, right? um, and that's completely legal. There is a legal case. There is, there is all the legal instruments around it. There is no legal instruments around crazy people. There is no legal facilities, experts, etc., saying that, oh yeah, like, his family saying, we are very worried about this guy. He's going off the rails. We need someone to take a look at it. Like, they can report it to FBI, local police, whatever, and then they send, social workers, whatever, I don't care, the people who actually know how to deal with those people, to evaluate their state, and then they report it, and there is a legal procedure to take off his guns, right? Like, it's totally logical. Like, I don't see a point of it, but all of this is missing. There's no facilities. Like, even if, let's say, that person is crazy, he's not going to be sent anywhere,
Well, I mean,
right?
there are some. I mean, I'm not expert on this. I haven't
No,
seen a
the,
lot of
the,
it.
the the only private that I know about this. I trust me, I know about this because uh, someone has someone which is a kid, and that kid is suicidal, and so there's only few states which allow this kind of override from the parents' perspective to actually put kid in mental. For example, there are private mentals in California, but if you put the kid in and he says, "I don't want to be here," they cannot keep him there.
That's weird.
Yeah, thanks, Kennedy. And I'm not
Well,
joking. Nobody talks about it for the last, whatever, 50
yeah.
years.
Well, yeah. Look. I, I'm not disagreeing at
Uh,
all. I think that.
blah, blah.
I mean, especially now. I
Uh,
mean,
FBI
huh?
is useless. I told you.
FBI is useless. Well, FBI does what they're told to do for the most part. The FBI does a
Me
lot of
too.
stuff, man. They're not useless. Trust me, they're not useless. They may not do what you want them to do, but that doesn't mean they're useless.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that they're useless. I mean, they have plenty of uses. They do all kinds of shit, man. FBI is legit.
They look pretty cool in the movies.
They look super cool in the movies. Yeah, I mean, you don't even see the stuff they do. That's the thing is they don't. If they shouted everything they did out in the news, I mean, I'm sure it would be a big thing, but they don't. Yeah, I think men. But again, like you said earlier about the federal government can't be everywhere to take all the guns because there's 50 different states. Well, that's the same problem with mental health. It's the and that's one of the issues with all of these potential solutions is the
I
fact that
agree.
there's 50 different, at least 50 different governments you have to deal with.
I agree.
So you're gonna
You come
have
out with a global plan with a lot of points, and you push the states to adopt them, and they adopt them the way they're comfortable with.
well, that's basically what generally happens with most large initiatives is that they're pushed and states massage them in different. Like marijuana is a good example. Someone
Yeah,
mentioned that in chat earlier. That's a good example where the feds, and this unfortunately depends on the president, which is where executive orders are stupid. Is that the president comes in like Trump and Biden are perfect examples. They each come in, they sign up opposing executive orders, and everyone else just fucking runs around like a chicken with their head cut off trying to make the adjustments. It's not really fair to everyone for just all these executive orders to go on. But anyway, so the feds ban marijuana, the states allow it. Like it's an interesting dichotomy. At some point, we all know it's gonna be legalized, but it's just not yet. But I mean, yeah, that's a problem if you want to have mental health. So like, there's stories about the only one that sticks out in my mind is Bellevue in New York is a mental health facility, um, and there was a scam that I'm not sure if that was a movie I saw
oh,
or a
police.
documentary.
Police, the sorry, the mall guards called the police, and they basically stopped him on the way out. I don't know, was he shitting there, or was he just too nervous to make a move, and he was staying in the restaurant for like half an hour or something like that. I don't remember the details.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
One thing I wanted to spell too, I want to talk about just a little bit, is that there's the whole. What do you think about the argument of the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun? What do you think about that?
Um, that's baloney.
Yeah, I generally agree with that.
Usually the good guys don't carry the guns.
Or
Just
they're in the wrong,
FYI,
or they're
just
not there at the moment in the place.
no, like we consider majority of people to be good. Just majority of people don't want to carry the gun, like because the problem that majority of people are afraid of the gun. Like they're not, they know what it, especially the trained ones, they actually know what it can do, so they're very careful about it. Only like stupid people, and or kids basically in that way, they would carry the guns, and you don't fully can trust them. There's of course
Yeah.
some exceptions like counties in different states where people are just generally like to have carry on guns, and just like everybody's carrying it, it's like carrying a wallet or something. So yeah, sure, but again, I don't know. There are a lot of countries in the world which don't have that, and they're fine.
Yeah, but well, so that was a question I had earlier. Is that what I don't know what other countries' laws are with guns. I've never looked that deeply into it. So we know some countries ban guns, like the UK. They've banned. Are there other countries that have not banned guns and have pretty open gun laws, like the US does, and have mass shootings or don't have mass shootings, or like I don't
So,
know.
there is a problem that the news are mostly glorifying U.S. events in general. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of countries, especially in Latin America, which has mass shootings probably happening every week for different reasons, not just for a statement, but just because there is a gang violence, etc. Like Chicago has mass shootings every weekend. But nobody cares about it because that's normalized.
Yeah, that's true.
In the US, it's a big deal because media and because US is a big thing on the
Global
entire arena.
stage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
but
true.
but again, like my problem is that there are multiple different points, and we already talked about, which could potentially start shifting the culture, which nobody talks about. Like, for example, I see it as a problem because that's the same BS that my CO is talking. Like, my CO is no different from Joe Biden because he says those same sound bites. He's like, "Oh, guys, we need to improve the product and make our customers happy. That's our like." When he asks like what's our plan, he's like, oh, we just need to make customers happier so they will pay us more. Like, okay, that's amazing. What exactly that means? As
Yeah,
a, same
because
here.
that
It's like how to
yeah.
solve gun problems. Let's remove the guns. Okay, that's not workable. What exactly you mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. I think the
Like, I'm going to write executive order and ban blah 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 blah
yeah,
composed
that I
guns.
mean,
I was like, most of the shootings are not done with composed gun. Is it illogical? After you done this, is it like change? Is going to change anything? Composite guns, sorry. Like that's the whole problem. I don't see them actually doing stuff. I see them talking a
yeah.
lot.
Well, and that's part of the problem is, well, number one, especially now, I mean, it's I do not like a 50-50 Senate. I do not like that at all. Um it's because everyone's entrenched. That's the problem. Is like if you have like 70-30 or 60-40, there's going to be some give and some take. At least you would hope, unless it's just all take because you have a majority, but or maybe like a 58-42, something like that, because then you can kind of ebb and flow from both sides. um then you can ebb and flow from both sides, but at 50-50, everyone's entrenched. And unless something is really blatant, like for an individual, so take for instance, not to politicize this,
Yeah,
but voting to impeach Donald Trump. Some of the Republicans thought, some of the Republicans took a chance, and they thought it was worthy of them differing from
yeah,
their party.
yeah. No, no. Listen, that's totally fine. I don't. Let's talk real, right? We were locked for a year and a half. There was increased amount of domestic violence and other things which happened through this time. A lot of people got poor. A lot of people got into a lot of other psychological problems on top of this. And we in a way, it's a consequences of this, and nobody talks about that problem as well. So I don't know. It's again. Um, let's start electing politicians which have nuances. Like for example, if you, I'm not a big fan. I'm not trying to shill anybody here, but like if you listen to Andrew Yang or Tulsi, right? Like those politicians actually have a nuances. When they talk, they actually talk about more of a detail. They sound more logical and more thought out than those people who just feed us like cheap fast food
Yeah,
and
like
try to
Trump.
get our votes.
Trump's your fast food.
Sure,
He's a great example of that.
all of the primary politicians are a fast food. That's
Well,
that's that's how they got there.
I know, and unfortunately, it's getting worse because I mean, Trump's a great example of that. Like the dude gives zero nuance to anything. It's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
it's all like headlines, if you will, no article.
Yeah,
It's just
that again, I like the phrase that the the Trump is not a cause. He's not a, how to say it. He's not a
yeah,
has not he's not
he's
a
the
murderer.
symptom.
He's a coroner. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he is a symptom.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's no, yeah. I'm not blaming Trump for anything. The problem is that he got elected. The problem isn't that he was elected. The problem is that he got elected because I and that's why a lot of the liberal people were really thrown back by Trump getting elected because we're like this guy is obviously like really blatantly um
sure. But he the when he was blatant about this, other weren't, and they were subtle, and
yeah, but they don't
both of
like
them
those
are bad.
people. But they don't
Yeah,
like
but
those
both of them
people.
are bad.
What do
But
you, oh, you mean
there's
like the
no
Yangs and stuff? Because you mentioned Yang, just using him as
no no
an
no
example.
no. Like I'm so, the Pelosi, right? Pelosi is a Trump who just talks better. The same thing you can say about Joe Biden or like Kamala Harris, right? They're, it's another Trump. They just don't say everything.
Okay, I will disagree with you there, and here's
Oh,
why. Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
yeah.
The current batch of leadership politician in the Democratic Party is only because it's anti-Trump. It has nothing to do with their strength as an individual.
So why would you elect them? Like that's
Because
my
fuck
question.
Trump,
No, but
basically.
wow,
That's
that's an amazing way to solve your country's problems.
okay.
If you think
So,
that your country problem is that the Trump was a president, I have a bad news for you.
well, that's not all of the problem, but the way that
No, but that's a whole problem. That's an easier problem to solve. It's, oh yeah, we just like everything else in our country is fine. It's only the Trump. So if we like not elect him, then everything is going to resolve itself. No, it won't.
no, it didn't. No one says everything.
No,
No,
but
no one
it's
said no one said everything's going to resolve itself.
uh, it's a soundbite again. Like you're fed a fast food.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but your options were Trump, your
Yeah,
options were
there,
Trump or
yeah.
Biden. Those were your choices. And if you really did not like Trump, which obviously a lot of people didn't, I mean, this was like the most people from both sides really came out, and there were a lot of people that really didn't like Trump that came out and voted against Trump. All I'm saying is that I'm not saying everyone loved Biden. The people on the right are correct at saying people didn't all come out and vote. Well, I don't know if they actually said that, but a lot of people didn't come out because Biden. It's not like Obama. People came out of the woodwork to vote for Obama. Nobody came out of the woodwork to vote for Joe Biden. That's not how it worked. And that's what I'm saying is that, whether right or wrong, that's how it worked. I mean,
Yeah, so you're talking about reality. I totally get it.
yeah,
But that's fine. Yeah, sure. That's
yeah. I'm
not
talking
how it
about
should be, right? That I
no,
see
no,
it as
no.
a problem. I
It's
see it
definitely
as
not
a
how it should
problem.
be.
I don't see it as a good strategy. I see it as a
No, no,
problem.
no.
That
It's getting rid. It's basically like saying I've got termites. I need to cut the front of my house off, so I don't lose the rest of it.
no.
That's
It's like saying that I need to cut the part of the house, but I'm gonna cut the only the bad part.
yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
like okay,
yeah. Obviously,
that's
it's
an
politics,
amazing
so it's not a
approach.
1-to-1.
Yeah.
I
Um,
definitely get that.
okay, and you still have people on that part which says actually termites are in your walls, not in ours. and the truth is it termites our entire house, but
Yeah,
we
no,
decide
no,
to cut different parts because
yeah.
people think that the problem is other side of building.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it doesn't solve. Look, nothing's going to solve all of our problems. Our problems are revolving problems, and that's part of the problem. Is that our problems
Sure,
continuously revolve.
but that's a culture, and that's an absence of nuances. That's why I'm saying that this is more systemic problem. That's saying that the ban the guns is not going to solve anything. It's a
No,
useless
it
statement.
it'll
It's
solve the
actually
problem.
counterproductive. No, it won't. It's
Okay,
counterproductive in reality.
correct. No, you are correct. So yeah, there's a dichotomy of you can say the actual solution, but it's not popular and never going to happen, which is in the case here. Yes, it would solve the problem. No, it's never going to happen. So yeah, should you even talk about it? Probably not. I would agree with that.
Especially that amount of time which we spend on it. Every time there's shooting, there's someone taking
Later,
weeks.
Jared.
Yeah, and it's all in the news, like 24/7. It's like, yeah, how do we want to ban guns? We should ban guns. What do you think about banning guns? I think banning guns is bad. I think banning guns is good. And
Well,
it's
it's,
all that.
yeah. That speaking of culture, that is another major cultural thing is that we just like to fucking talk over each other and ignore that middle ground, which in reality maybe likely could do something. Like you're definitely not going to be in a situation where we're not going to ban the guns in the home and put them in the shooting range, but that's a much more amicable solution than banning guns. I mean, most people, I don't know if they'll be okay with that, but a lot of more people would accept that than would accept just banning guns outright. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's still going to be because look, I've heard statistics out there mostly from Democrats. So I don't know if it's true or not that say that hey, Republicans like background checks or gun owners like background checks. Why won't you pass back? Like if that's the reality, if that's if that is true, then yeah, if everyone is okay with background checks, why don't we just do background checks? Number one, it'll shut everyone from the left up for a little
Oh,
bit.
we have background checks.
No, I understand. I understand. I'm just saying like,
As an example, there's like some action item everybody could agree on, and let's do it step by step. Yes, but you cannot sell it. And beside it, the problem which I see right now is this hyperpolarization that they cannot credit the other side actually doing anything good.
oh
So
yeah,
they wouldn't take a compromise because that would make their opponent looks better as
yeah.
they like.
Well, not. I feel like I don't know. I'm definitely more on the left than I am on the right. So maybe this is just coming from me from kind of the left perspective, but I really feel like the right cannot back down from any of their positions in terms of
Ugh.
guns, in terms of these things. That's what it feels like to me because
I'm pretty sure if there was nuanced talk and the specific action items, that would be available. To be honest, for example, I'm a little bit more right leaning, but I don't get the point of like not mandating what it is the fingerprint verification on your gun. There is like this technology which allows you
oh
by
yeah, that'd be
uh,
great.
yeah, that would be amazing. You only the owner can fire the gun.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you want to authorize someone, you got to give them authorization. Like I'm not going to give my kid this gun.
That will prevent so many problems. But for some reason, NRA is like, no, you can't do this. Like it's terrible. It's like blah blah blah. And I really don't get that one. I really
Yeah.
don't.
Well, that's one of the problems with the NRA is they're obvious. All the NRA is they're just a lobbying group for gun manufacturers. That's really all they are.
I
They
mean, the entire United States politics is is a lobby group
No,
basically.
I understand, but on this specific issue,
Yeah,
that's what
sure.
the NRA stands like. Oh, we're for gun rights. We're for this. We're for that. You're
They
basically
would,
just
the guns would cost more. Like I don't get it. The manufacturers would make more money. Like the margin gonna go up.
I
Like
don't
I
know.
don't.
Well, it would
I
also
really don't think so.
it'd be more. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. That's a good point. I don't know, but it's hard to know all the motivations behind everything because no one can ever trust anybody, especially in politics. So there's a lot of inferring that happens rather than actual understanding and listening. That's another problem. A lot of people just like to shout. They don't want to listen. Everybody, and that's another problem. This is part of human nature that's kind of an issue, which is interesting to say, is that we like loud people. Human beings will follow loud people. If you're small, if you get on a microphone and go, "Hey everyone, I really think that there's a problem on the Mexican border, and I think we should build a wall. I think that would likely sound, that would solve some things." Or Trump comes up, "We're gonna build a big beautiful wall. You're all gonna be safe." Like, it's 3 seconds of Trump or 20 seconds of some small timid person.
Uh, I don't
So
know. Like we should stop talking about Trump.
he's a good. I'm not talking about. Okay, he's just an example. I'm not talking about Trump, but
Okay.
he is the far extreme of a lot of these examples, especially um, when it comes to leadership and people human herd mentality, right? People will follow bold, brash leaders. That's who they
Again,
follow. They don't
like
follow the timid person with the balanced view that has really thought this out and done their research, no matter what the topic of conversation.
again, it's a problem of culture. I'm telling you.
No, that's not culture. That's humanity.
It's okay. Sure.
That you don't think that's humanity? You don't think that's innate in us that we follow the loud person?
No,
No.
that's not like this in Japan, for example. Like as the best example.
Are you sure? I mean, I don't know about Japan.
Yeah, that's not like this in Ukraine.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. All right. Maybe it is culture then. I don't know,
It
but
is United. It's a United States thing. It's like get guns blazing, scream on other people. Like two nations I can hear in any you know in any tourist setting is Russians and Americans. Two of the most loudest nations in the world. If you travel anywhere, you'll hear it. You won't identify Russians, but you can easily identify Americans if you silent enough and see. You can see American tourists from the mile.
hmm,
It's just how it is. It's country of free cowboys, etc. Pow pow.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. Well, then that's a problem in America. I guess the problem is then I mean, what in the culture do you change? That's another question. Is if that's the problem, then what in our culture? Like, I don't know what would make
Because
us
again,
be.
like that's a deeper discussion. That's a very good and productive discussion because that thing will do a lasting change. That thing actually will change the mass shootings and other problems. If you can address it, if you can start shifting towards, less glorifying BS and more kind of cultural education, which we don't talk about because everybody is so uptight about whatever things. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
No, that's. I mean, I always thought that was innate to humans that we pay attention because I mean, when you think about it, at least to me, this is what I always thought is that if we're in the wild and someone is yelling, "Hey, there's a fucking snake over there," they're like, "Oh shit, like everyone's gonna look and see there's a snake," and then he saved us from the snake, and then we're gonna listen to this guy next time too. I mean,
Well, you went very deep on this.
no, that's how I go. I take everything back to us not living in civilizations and us living in small herd groups because that's how we behave. We all behave in very similar fashions, but uh, Germany is a good example of a society absolutely gone crazy. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know how much anti-Semitism there was before Hitler in Germany. I'm actually not. I actually don't know about that. But I
Oh, the
can't.
anti-Semitism is just like shared. It's a common trait between people.
But like what? But like, at what point? I mean, so if you're a Hitler and you're just edging people along towards this very extreme, like, at what point do people start thinking for themselves? Because that never apparently that never happened. You know what I mean?
So I think that it was sold in a way of a good changes, and you trusted the government because they control the narrative. The
Yeah,
the
but then you
problem
start going to war. I mean,
the thing, yeah, sure, but so the thing which it wasn't sold as a war, by the way. It was sold as we're gonna improve other countries. We're gonna bring them democracy.
hmm,
Um, So the thing which is scary and people don't understand that there are forces who are trying to do things which looks great on paper, and they look great on paper because somebody screwed up before, right? So people find themselves in a bad situation, right, and country wise, and somebody comes in and sell them a good plan to solve it, and it's sound plan, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
give you all of the details, but again, it gives you a lot of cool sound bites of like what is going to be happening, and a lot of people jump on board. The unified thing is great. They start slowly controlling everybody who doesn't support that idea, because it becomes from that point less of an idea, more of the faith, and that's a part which is, I think, hugely missing from people understanding that people just generally spiritual, and they're into believing, like having a faith or having like some specific ideology. And so what I see right now is that there is a specific. Anyway, I don't really want to get there. I'm totally off the rails. I actually want to end this. We're definitely out of time.
Okay.
I need to go. It's productive discussion. I wish that that's how the politicians were talking about this, not some random people in Discord.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, and the other thing I thought too a while ago is that if we can come up with these potential solutions, they've obviously already come up with some potential solutions, and why aren't
No,
they
but
even trying?
they cannot sell it. That's the whole problem. You're
Yeah.
not demanding it. You're not electing the people who are more nuanced.
Yeah. Yeah,
Joe
that's
Biden is not nuanced. Trump is not nuanced. Obama is not nuanced. All of it is just blah blah blah.
yeah. I'll disagree about Obama, but that's a whole other topic of
Sure.
conversation.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man.
Thanks.
All right, buddy. Bye.
Uh, bye.
All right, everyone. That's Ellie. You can obviously tell I won that debate. I say it after he hangs up. Oh, that's classic. Nah, that was good. Exactly, B-Dub. Exactly. Exactly. Yes, of course I wait till he's gone. You think I'm stupid? I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than that cat over there. No, that was good. Ellie's always good talk. We do have Discord. I don't use it that often, but if you guys are interested, hit me up in Slack. But I got to roll. I got newsletter to make. I'm in the middle of it, as you guys have seen. So I'm gonna bounce. Have a great one, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Or see you Monday because it's Friday. This is the stock show. So I'll see you Monday. All right, later.